Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi. Welcome to Dan's Backshop. Before we get into the video this time, I wanted to just thank everybody for viewing and subscribing and helping to get the channel over 10,000 subscribers. That's a milestone I've been shooting for quite a while, and it's really cool to finally get there. So very sincerely, thank you. So I'm standing here in the train room, and there aren't quite as many boxes here as there used to be. A lot of these, well, not all of them have trains in them. Some of them have other stuff like scenery things, and there's some end scale and different things. And some aren't even train related at all. But anyway, I've been going through the train boxes and moving them into the room next door to get them out of here. And what we're trying to do is to clear this room out enough so that I could actually work on it, because it's become kind of a catch-all and there's a lot of just random stuff in here besides train stuff. And I really need to be able to finish the walls and do all the drywall work, and that's kind of messy. And so want to get it done. Our goal is to get it done by August, because the room next door is going to be used by a house guest that we have coming out in the late summer. So that's kind of my deadline. We'll see. I'm hoping to make it. I really am. I'd at least like to get even some of the room finished so that I could move stuff back in and have it be kind of more or less permanently in here. But in any case, I wanted to talk a little bit about it because as part of that effort, you know, a lot of these boxes, I've sold some trains on eBay. I've pulled trains out for projects. I've shuffled stuff around, and some of the boxes were not full. Some of the boxes were actually getting physically crushed because they've been on the bottom, you know, and stacked, you know, this high. So I have a number of empty boxes left over from other things that we have gotten rid of. And I've been taking the trains and kind of taking them out of the bad boxes and putting them in good boxes, and also trying to consolidate boxes so that every box is full. And I thought while I was at it, maybe I should do an inventory. You know, I recently did an inventory of my locomotives. And I thought, well, maybe I should finally do an inventory of the rolling stock. So I've been doing that. I've been taking the boxes into the house a couple at a time. I made another spreadsheet, and I've been just going through it and making notes about everything that's in them. And as of this taping, I'm up to over 600 pieces of rolling stock. I think it was like 620 or something. And I think there's still some more to go, although I think that's most of it. I'm not sure I'm going to hit 700. But it's interesting to me because I really didn't know how much I had. I've been kind of just accumulating stuff for decades and didn't really have any clue of how many, you know, freight cars and passenger cars and such, you know, that I had in my collection. So it's kind of eye-opening. You know, that's a lot. So, you know, I'm sure some people have more than that, but, you know, it's for me, it's a lot. One thing I've been doing is numbering the boxes. And that way, when I look in my spreadsheet, if I want to find something, I know what box number to look in. So if I need to find a particular car, it should make it a lot easier in the future. So, you know, knowing how much you've got kind of does play into the layout design and how much staging capacity there is. Assuming I want to keep everything that I have, if I want it all in the layout, then I have to build the layout with enough capacity to hold all of that. So we'll see. That's a lot of capacity. So I may get rid of some more stuff. I'm not as worried about getting rid of freight cars and passenger cars as I was about locomotives, because they seem like less work. You know, freight cars may need uncoupling levers or you know, have the coupler height fixed or something of that nature, but typically aren't a huge project like a diesel build. So anyway, it's good to know, it's good information, and I think it's, you know, long overdue for me to do that. Of course, I haven't really even started on the N scale stuff. There's a lot of that too, and that's kind of deceiving because you can fit more N scale in one of these boxes than you can HO. So I look in the N scale boxes and they're full of stuff, and I'm thinking, well, that's a lot too, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Speaking of N scale, I did put sound in the Big Boy that I reviewed recently from Broadway, so let's take a look at that. I already talked about how to take the tender apart on the Big Boy in the review, but in case you didn't see it, I'll just recap it briefly. First, you have to remove the rear coupler. Pulls out once the screw is out. It's a little tight. There. There are 2 screws on either side of the coupler mount on the back. Those have to come out. You push the top of the tender forward and lift it off. And there are 2 screws on the bottom of this metal weight that have to come out. It's hard to see, I can't really show them too well because they're really in there. Once that's done, the tender shell will lift off. So what I didn't do in the review was to pull off this Next 18 dummy board. I'm going to replace the dummy board with this. It's a Lokesound 58928, which is their nano decoder with Next 18 connector. This thing is really tiny. It just plugs in to the Next 18 socket, and that should be it. As I mentioned in the review, this engine already has a speaker and an enclosure, so it should be pretty simple. Just need to load a sound set into it and see how it runs. I wanted to talk a little bit about the channel and how I do videos, because I've changed my process a little bit since I started, at least with respect to hands-on videos like how to do something or how to weather something or stuff like that. The product reviews are kind of separate because those have a kind of a rigid format. Anyway, I don't know if it was my ideas or if it was other people's influence, but when I first started the channel after coming from the other channel, I had specific ideas about, how videos are made, or how videos are made, like decreed from on high or something. And I was kind of following along, but it made it really hard to do some of the longer videos because of the way I was doing it. I was basically trying to write a script for everything, and then I would drop the script into the video editor and then hunt for clips to go over that and have to piece it all together. And if the video is more than about 10 minutes, it gets to be really cumbersome to do that. So I've noticed that other channels, some of the other channels even that are, have a lot more viewers and subscribers than I do, have a much more casual style. And I think they're just basically narrating as they go along doing stuff. And so I've tried doing that. And the recent DCC shop video I did with the NW2 was like that. And the painting and detailing or weathering and detailing video with the boxcar was like that. And I think it's working pretty well, and it's a lot easier to edit because, for me, the hobby is trains. The hobby is not making videos. The video thing is kind of a add-on, and, if I'm actually hands-on doing stuff, that's actually helping me, get to the goal of having the layout in here eventually. I mean, even if it's just building one model, it's still one less model to finish and one more model that I can run in here, hopefully, eventually. So I've been trying to do that, and I think it's been working out pretty well. So I'm going to keep the reviews with the scripted format because I have such a rigid style for those, and I think it works better to write everything out. It allows me to do research and check my facts and make sure that, I get things right that way. But if I'm just working on something and it's not so much about research, but just about describing what I'm doing. I think doing that, in the moment while I'm doing it is a lot easier, and it just makes things flow better when it comes time to produce the video. So I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to try to push more to do that kind of stuff too. Not so many reviews maybe, although a lot of stuff that I pre-ordered has come all at once. So I know I just did a couple of reviews, and there's going to be a couple more coming out probably in the near future. I'm not stopping doing reviews because I do still buy stuff sometimes, but nothing like I used to. Some of this was because I used to buy a lot. So I don't buy nearly as much as I used to. So that's probably a good thing. Anyway, I'll talk about that sometime, but maybe not right now. But I just wanted to kind of give people an idea of thoughts about where the channel's going. And I really am enjoying the actual building of things. It kind of feels like for a while I've been more worried about videos than the trains. So I want to go back to being more worried about the trains. So, and get this room done and actually start building something. Maybe it'll happen this year, we'll see. I think changing the way that I edit will also help me get some of these back burner projects that have been stalled for a long time back on track, like the consist build, the NN3 steam engine, and the Siren Creek layout. I haven't given up on any of those. The consist build was the first thing I really started on this channel, and I definitely want to get those models done. I think doing the videos the new way is going to help facilitate that. Nicole and I recently visited History Park in San Jose, and that was pretty cool. They actually have a working trolley line there. Unfortunately, we got there a little bit too late and they were putting the trolley away for the day. But we're hoping to go back and maybe actually ride it at some point. It's not a railroad park per se, but in addition to the trolley line, they also have a Southern Pacific 060 on static display, a Southern Pacific caboose, and a boxcar. So it's pretty neat. There's a lot of historic buildings there. Some of them are reproductions of buildings that were demolished in other places, and some of them have actually been physically relocated. The latest addition is the former Southern Pacific Coyote Depot, which, as you can see, is still up on blocks right now. I'm assuming that they're going to put it in a permanent spot and refurbish it just like they've done with everything else here. So it's pretty neat. You can walk around. It's set up like kind of a little town block, but there's no cars typically in there other than service vehicles. So it's pretty cool. We got to go in a couple of the buildings. Not everything was open on the day we were there, but we did get to see the car barn, which was pretty cool. The car barn for the trolleys actually has two different working trolleys, and they have a couple others, and they actually even have a steam locomotive in there. I'm not sure what the plans are for that, but it's pretty neat. And there's even a little model railroad with it's a traction-themed layout. So it was pretty fun. And we're hoping to go back and enjoy it again. So if you're ever in the San Jose area and you want to see something kind of cool, check out History Park. I think admission is free most days. I know Nicole and I just walked in, and I think certain days they may charge for admission if it's a special occasion or something, but I think most of the time you can just go in. So it's pretty cool. So that's about it for now. Just thanks again for helping the channel to get to 10,000. I really appreciate it. And hopefully everybody will keep watching and keep enjoying what I'm doing. So if you like this video, if you like the channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.